Too many men waste their time chasing women who've already made up their minds they're not interested. That's the hard truth. She might smile, respond here and there, maybe even hang around, but deep down, she's not into you. And if you don't recognize the signs, you'll keep pouring your time, energy, and self-worth into something that's already a dead end. In today's dating world, attention is cheap. A single scroll gives her access to 10 other guys ready to entertain her. So if she's not showing up for you, if she's not matching your effort, it's not because she's uncertain. It's because she's not choosing you. Harsh? Yes. Necessary? Absolutely. You're not here to win someone over who doesn't value you. You're here to read the signs, stand tall, and walk away with your dignity intact. Far too many men linger in the gray area texting, waiting, hoping for someone who's mentally already moved on. And by the time they realize it, they're drained, discouraged, and lost. This video is going to protect you from that path. I'm going to break down 7 clear signs that she's not interested. No second guessing, no decoding mixed signals. Just real, simple truths that most men overlook. Once you see them, you'll know exactly what to do. Stop chasing. Start leading. Let's get into it. 1. She rarely replies. When a woman is genuinely interested, you feel it. Not just through what she says, but how she shows up. Her responses aren't just quick and thoughtful, they're consistent. You don't have to chase her down. You don't have to decode her short replies like you're solving a mystery. But when you're met with LOL, yeah, ick, and hours or even days of silence, that's not just her being busy or not a texter. That's someone who sees your presence but doesn't value it. Let's be real, we all have our phones. We all check our messages. If she wanted to engage with you, she would. Worse, you might see her posting stories, liking posts, commenting on other people's photos, living her digital life while completely ignoring you. That's the truth you need to absorb. She's active, just not with you. If your presence doesn't pull her in, stop expanding your energy hoping it will. Because every time you try harder, every long message you send, every meme you hope will make her laugh, every hour you spend wondering if she'll text back, you're giving power away. And she's not inspired by your effort. She's indifferent to it. Cut that off early. Stop romanticizing silence. If it's not a full yes, it's a silent no. 2. She's always busy. We live in a world where everyone has a packed schedule. That's normal. But you know what else is normal? Making time for people you care about. When someone wants you in their life, they find windows of opportunity. They text you in the middle of a busy day. They carve out a weekend. They reschedule if they have to, but they don't vanish. If she keeps hitting you with, "This week is wild. I'll let you know when I'm free. Things are crazy right now," and then never follows up, that's not time management. That's emotional avoidance. The hard truth: she's not too busy for you. She's just not interested enough to include you in her life. What hurts men here is the hope you believe she might come around. You give her space, thinking that patience equals maturity. But what you're actually doing is giving her permission to forget you. You're telling her, "It's okay to treat me as optional." No woman who values you puts you in the maybe pile. She puts you on the calendar. She finds a way. Don't be a backup plan in someone's crowded life. Be a priority or be gone. 3. She never initiates. Attraction isn't passive. It wants to move. If she's into you, she's not sitting in silence waiting for you to reach out. She's thinking about you. She's wondering what you're up to. She's reaching for her phone, unprompted, because she wants to connect. When that doesn't happen, when you're the one always calling, always texting, always initiating plans, you're not building a relationship. You're hosting a show. You're performing affection, and she's the passive audience. Some men excuse this, thinking, "She's traditional. She likes being pursued. She's shy. But those aren't signs of disinterest. Those are character traits. And even shy women initiate in their own way. They send cute messages. They check in. They leave the door open for you to walk through. If she's not doing anything, she's not afraid of losing you because she's already emotionally gone. So stop giving 100% to someone who gives 0%. That's not romance, it's self-abandonment. 4. She avoids physical closeness. Attraction is more than words, it's energy. It's the subtle signals people send without even realizing it. And nowhere is that more obvious than in body language. While men often focus on what a woman says, it's far more powerful and revealing to focus on how she behaves physically around you. The body doesn't lie. Let's get one thing straight, women are exceptionally attuned to how they feel around a man. Within minutes of meeting you, she knows at least instinctively whether you spark something inside her. That spark may grow or fade, but its presence, or absence, is immediately felt. So if you're interacting with a woman and notice her avoiding physical closeness, that's not a random behavior. That's her energy setting a boundary. She leans away when you lean in. Her body is angled away from yours, even when you're side by side. Her arms are crossed, her posture is tight, and she gives off a guarded vibe. When you touch her casually on the arm, the back, or shoulder, she tenses up or immediately creates space. These are micro-expressions of disinterest. And they're more honest than anything she'll ever say with her words. Common rationalizations men use, and why they're dangerous. Men don't want to believe the woman they like isn't into them. So we come up with excuses that keep hope alive. She's just shy. She's probably been hurt before. She's taking things slow. She's not used to physical affection. Now, could any of these be true? Sure. But here's the problem, these rationalizations give you a false sense of progress, causing you to ignore the truth that's staring you in the face. You can't build chemistry by ignoring reality. You build it by meeting mutual energy. If she's not naturally drawn to you physically, then no amount of patience or respect is going to create that magnetism out of thin air. In fact, the more you try to force closeness with someone who isn't feeling it, the more repelled they become. You become the guy who's trying too hard, and nothing kills attraction faster than desperation. The key difference between interest and tolerance. Understand this, there's a huge difference between a woman tolerating your presence and actually desiring it. A woman who tolerates you might sit next to you, but keep a few inches of space. Let you hug her briefly, but go stiff and unengaged. Smile politely, but never lean into you or touch you first. In contrast, a woman who's interested will find little excuses to touch you, playful punches, light brushes. Mirror your body language. Lean into you during conversations. Make prolonged eye contact that lingers with warmth and curiosity. Her energy won't be neutral, it'll be inviting. And the best part? You won't need to guess. What happens when you push for closeness? Here's a painful truth that many men learn the hard way: the more you try to create closeness with a woman who's not into you, the more you reinforce her lack of attraction. You end up overanalyzing every small gesture. She touched my arm, maybe there's hope. Trying harder to initiate contact. If I give her one more compliment, maybe she'll relax. Feeling rejected when she doesn't respond how you want. That creates an unhealthy cycle where you're always reaching, and she's always retreating. Eventually, this dynamic wrecks your confidence. You start questioning your own worth because someone else isn't reciprocating. But here's the truth, it's not about your worth. It's about misaligned interest. And the longer you chase closeness with someone who's not feeling it, the more you sabotage your own self-respect. Your power is in the pullback. Here's what separates confident men from the rest: they listen to energy, not excuses. When you sense that physical closeness is unwanted or forced, you pull back with confidence, not resentment. You don't guilt her. You don't chase her. You don't try to prove yourself. You simply recognize, this woman doesn't feel what I feel. And you move on not because you're hurt, but because you value your own energy too much to waste it. This pullback isn't a tactic. It's a declaration of standards. You're not here to beg someone to feel something. You're here to connect with someone who wants to connect with you freely and naturally. 5. She talks about other men. You know what's worse than being rejected? Being disqualified silently without a breakup, without closure while being kept around as a convenient presence. One of the clearest signs this is happening is when a woman constantly talks about other men around you. Not just small talk, this is emotional framing. Let's be real, there's a big difference between casual conversation and pattern behavior. It's one thing if she mentions a coworker once. It's something completely different when she brings up her ex repeatedly, how he was, what he did, what she misses. She talks about how many guys hit on her this week. She lights up describing another man's attention, success, or qualities. If this happens consistently, she's not just talking. She's framing you in a certain emotional category, the non-threatening male. You're the guy she doesn't need to impress. You're the guy she can process her feelings with. You're the guy she vents to. And most importantly, you're not the guy she wants to sleep with. Men in the romantic frame don't hear about the competition. Ask yourself this: when a woman really likes a guy, likes him to the point of feeling excited, anxious, and butterflies in her stomach, does she spend time talking to him about other men? Absolutely not. In fact, she goes out of her way to not bring them up, because she's focused entirely on the man in front of her. She doesn't want to risk pushing him away. She doesn't want to give the wrong impression. So when she's freely talking to you about other guys, especially if it's about how great they are, how much attention she gets, or how well they understand her, that's not flirtation. That's emotional distancing. She's putting you in the safe space box. And here's the kicker: the more you absorb and listen and validate her stories, the deeper into that box you go. Why you're not the threat. This is hard to admit, but it's important. If a woman consistently talks about other men around you, it's because she doesn't see you as a threat. Not in a dangerous way. In a romantic one. You're not making her nervous. You're not igniting anticipation. You're not triggering the part of her that wonders, what does he think of me? You're just there. Safe. Comforting. But not compelling. And while that might sound kind, it's actually the emotional equivalent of friend zoning with a smile. Don't confuse access with interest. Just because a woman talks to you, shares secrets with you, and even says you're easy to talk to, doesn't mean you're getting closer to her heart. It often means you're being used emotionally. You're her therapist. Emotional punching bag. Ego boost. Human diary. In this dynamic, you're serving her needs, but she's not serving yours. You're showing up with presence, support, attention, but she's not offering romance, intimacy, or curiosity in return. That's not connection. That's emotional labor disguised as friends. 6. She doesn't ask about you. Curiosity isn't optional, it's the foundation of connection. Think about the last time you were genuinely interested in someone. Maybe it was a friend, a mentor, or someone you had a crush on. What did you do? You asked questions. You wanted to understand their world, their past, what shaped them, what they dream about when no one's watching. You wanted to connect. That's what real interest looks like. Curiosity is proof of care. And if a woman isn't showing any, it's not a neutral signal, it's a red flag waving right in front of you. When she doesn't ask about what you do beyond surface level, what drives your ambition, what your childhood was like, your values, passions, goals, family, struggles. It's not because she's bad at asking questions. It's because she doesn't care to know. Why this hurts more than rejection. Being ignored emotionally feels worse than being outright rejected. Why? Because emotional neglect plays tricks on the mind. It keeps you in limbo, making you wonder maybe she's just distracted, maybe she's just shy, maybe she needs more time. But here's the truth, a woman who's into you will want to understand you. She'll show genuine interest in your life, not just react to what you say. She won't just reply, she'll explore. She'll probe. She'll ask. This isn't about getting a full psychological profile on date 1. It's about a consistent pattern of emotional engagement. When that's missing, you're not connecting. You're performing. Are you the talking mirror? Let's get honest for a second. Some women will text you, call you, even hang out with you but still never ask about you. Why? Because you're not there for connection. You're there to validate her. You're her talking mirror, a reflective surface she uses to vent, talk about her day, feel wanted, without actually caring to learn who's on the other side of the screen. You're a soundboard, not a soulmate. She tells you about her coworkers, her ex, her gym routine, her drama. You listen. You support. You try to relate. And still she knows nothing about you. Because she never asked. That's not an oversight. It's a choice. Signs she doesn't care to know you. She never follows up on past stories. If you told her about a big meeting, a creative project, or a personal issue and she never mentions it again, she wasn't listening. Not really. She always redirects the conversation back to herself. Every time you open up, she shifts gears back to her own experiences. That's self-absorption, not shyness. She's fine with surface-level talk. Weather, memes, small talk, she thrives in it. But the moment you bring depth, she checks out. She doesn't remember key details. If you're repeating your story 3 times and she's still asking the same basic questions, that's not forgetfulness, it's indifference. She never asks, why? Curious people don't just ask, what do you do? They ask, why do you do it? They dig. They explore. She doesn't. The psychological angle. People pursue what they value. If she values your time, your presence, your essence, she'll invest energy in learning you. Curiosity is the mind's way of saying, I want to keep you around. The opposite? Indifference. Psychologically, emotional curiosity is a predictor of long-term attraction and compatibility. If it's not there now, it's not magically going to appear later. This is why so many men get confused. They think, we've been talking for months, surely she must care. No. Time spent does not equal depth shared. Test this, the silence challenge. Here's something simple yet revealing. Stop texting her. Just, stop. Don't ghost her. Don't block her. Just fall back and wait. If a woman truly cares, she'll notice your absence and she'll reach out with more than just a, hey. But if she doesn't care, she'll do nothing. Or worse, she'll reach out only to talk about herself again. Silence doesn't just create distance. It reveals who actually wants to bridge the gap. What to do when you see this sign? Acknowledge the truth. Don't sugarcoat it. If she's shown no real interest in your inner world, she's not emotionally invested. Stop overgiving. Stop sharing deeply with someone who doesn't reciprocate. Don't keep auditioning for her approval. Shift your energy. Channel your time toward women who ask, listen, and care. They exist and you'll never notice them while you're chasing indifference. Build a standard. Make emotional curiosity a requirement in your dating life. Not a bonus, a baseline. You deserve more than shallow validation. You deserve to be known, and if she doesn't care to know you, don't stick around hoping she'll change. 7. She keeps you a secret. Let's get one thing clear, you are not a secret. No man of value should ever be hidden like an embarrassment or a liability. You should be a presence, not a whisper. A priority, not a placeholder. And yet, countless men find themselves in this very situation, hooking up, hanging out, even dating without ever being acknowledged. The illusion of privacy. It starts subtle. She's just private, you tell yourself. She doesn't post much. But over time, you notice more signs. You've never met her friends. She never posts even a hint of your presence. She avoids public places. She's dodgy when asked about what this is. Her phone is always upside down. She only calls late. Only meets up on her time. And then it hits you, you're not her man. You're her secret. Why women keep men a secret? Let's break down the real reasons this happens. No fluff. 1. She has options she doesn't want to lose. She's talking to someone else. Maybe even multiple men. And the moment she acknowledges you publicly, she risks those other connections asking questions or backing off. So, she hides you to keep her doors open. 2. She's not proud of you. This one's harsh, but honest. Sometimes, women hide the man they're with because they don't want to be seen with him. It could be age, looks, career status, or something else, but if she's embarrassed to be seen with you, she'll bury the relationship underground. You're good enough for private time, but not for public space. That's not love. That's using. 3. She's emotionally unavailable. She doesn't want to build anything real. She's in a phase, maybe healing, maybe playing, maybe avoiding commitment altogether. So, she keeps things casual and secrecy helps maintain the illusion of freedom. 4. She's hiding you from someone else. Boyfriend. Ex-sugar daddy. Family. You'd be shocked how often men get kept in the dark because they're unknowingly part of a triangle or worse, a web. If she's overly protective of her phone, always evasive, and never shows consistency, you might not be the only one. Privacy versus secrecy, know the difference. Privacy is discretion. You're not showing off the whole world, but your presence is known. Her friends know you exist. She references you. You feel included, even if you're not in every photo. Secrecy is concealment. You feel like a ghost. No trace of you exists in her world. One makes you feel secure. The other makes you feel invisible. The subtle signs she's hiding you. She never posts with you, even casually. She changes the subject when the future comes up. You've never met her friends or family even in passing. She only texts at night or inconsistently. She avoids locations where you could run into someone she knows. She never labels what you are not even as seeing each other. These are not coincidences. These are decisions. What this does to you emotionally. When you're hidden, you start to second-guess yourself. You think, maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I need to prove myself more. Maybe she's just not ready. But here's the truth, no man should have to convince someone to be seen. Being kept a secret chips away at your confidence. It lowers your self-esteem. It keeps you chasing someone who's already decided to keep you on the fringe. You deserve better than that. How to respond when you see this behavior. 1. Call it out directly. Not with anger but with clarity. Say something like, I've noticed that I'm not part of your world at all, privately or publicly. That doesn't feel good, and I don't want to be in something that feels hidden. How she responds to that will tell you everything. 2. Watch for change, not words. If she says, I'll introduce you soon, or I just like my privacy, but nothing changes over weeks, she's stalling. Respect is shown in actions, not excuses. 3. Don't compete for visibility. Some men think they can earn their way into being seen. They work harder. Buy more. Invest more. Don't. You don't earn your way out of being hidden. You leave. 4. Set a hard boundary. Boundaries are not ultimatums. They're declarations of self-respect. They say, this is what I will accept. This is what I won't. This is how I value myself and I expect the same in return. When it comes to secrecy in a relationship, setting a boundary is essential not as a tactic to control her behavior, but as a filter to see if she's truly aligned with your standards. If you're comfortable with privacy, good. Not everything needs to be shared online. Not every moment has to be a status update. But secrecy is another thing entirely. It's about exclusion. It's about being erased from her life story. And that's something no high-value man should ever tolerate. Your boundary sounds like this. I don't need to be broadcasted, but I won't be hidden. If you're serious about me, I need to see that reflected in your actions. I'm not here to be someone's secret chapter. Or even simpler. I'm not comfortable continuing this if I feel like I'm being kept in the dark. I want to be with someone who's proud to have me in their life. You're not begging. You're not threatening. You're calmly stating what you require in a connection. That's power. Now, here's the important part. If your boundary is met with excuses, deflection, or guilt-tripping, you have your answer. Excuses like, "You're overreacting. You're being too needy. It's not that deep. Why does this matter?" Those responses reveal everything. A woman who values you will take your concerns seriously. A woman who's just using you will get defensive or dismissive. That's your signal to leave. A man who values himself doesn't stick around to convince someone of his worth. He simply exits the space where he's not recognized. You don't ask for a seat at the table twice. The bottom line. You are not a side character in her story. You're not a backup plan. Not a therapy substitute. Not a, just in case I get bored, option. You're a man with presence, depth, and purpose, and that deserves to be acknowledged, not hidden. If she can go days without wondering how you feel, if she can introduce you to no one, if she can erase you from her digital and real-world life, then you're not in a relationship. You're in a performance. A placeholder position. A ghost contract with no emotional salary. A woman who truly values you will reflect it in how she integrates you into her life. That doesn't mean broadcasting you to the world, but it does mean you exist in her world. If you've been talking or seeing each other for months and she's still keeping you locked away in a digital dungeon, ask yourself, am I proud of how I'm being treated here? If the answer is no, walk. No debate. No closure speech. Just clarity.